and welcome to the program. You're watching a special edition of Our Town, the talk show here that's taped at Mohawk TV Studios. And today we're going to be discussing the ongoing issues with the Kahnawake education system here in, of course, our beautiful community. And in studio today we have chiefs from the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake, Christine Zachary-Diome and Bobby Patton. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
We're just going to jump right in because obviously a lot of people have been following this story. Last week we did do a story with former members of the Combined School Committee along with members of the ad hoc. Chief Carl Horn was very vocal about being in opposition of the Mohawk Council and some of the issues that are going on there. And of course we did have Chief Gus Guy-Deer and Kenneth McCumber on. We went to interview them. So now this week we felt, and it was also asked by members of the community to interview the Mohawk Council, members of the Mohawk Council. So I welcome you guys both to studio, not guys, but ladies and gentlemen. And let's just get right into it. I really don't want to discuss Donna Lahash and all of those issues. What we're interested in is where does the Mohawk Council come in, and if either of you could explain at this point how the Mohawk Council arrived at the decision to suspend the Kahnawake Combined School Committee a few weeks ago.
All right, first of all, it wasn't an easy decision to make. And I wanted at the outset to say that the decision was only reached once I had read absolutely everything. When I got to the table, and I knew this was the topic now, education, and it wasn't sounding good. I mean, things that were being discussed didn't sound like the old education system that I had once been associated with for 11 years. And so I immediately asked for every document we had on education. And then I went through the process of reading. And so I was reading all the way through council meetings. Whenever I had a moment to spare, I was comparing, I was reading, I was going through, getting a grip on this. And all four of us were provided, the new people on council, were provided with full documents. And we even received from KCSC, from Trina DeLille, a package of correspondence between MCK and KCSC. So we had her package as well. So the thing was, I put everything into chronological order, and then I started the readings. And that's how I got an understanding. And let me tell you that last night's meeting, the band council meeting, was another experience. That showed me the direct players who are involved and who have concerns, and the fact that there are problems. Just reading this made me feel like I had turned over a stone and there was a whole bunch of mess under this stone. And I'm a rational person, I like to think I am, and I had read everything and I just couldn't understand how things could have gotten like this. When I was a school teacher, you never even thought about the PTA. You know, you never thought about the education committee. But I do know right at the outset in the 70s, when I was married to Joe Diome, I knew how much work went into that first constitution. So when I read the constitutions, that constitution, then I started comparing the revisions, and then the most recent one dated 2005, and on the front of the document itself, as I showed you a moment ago, it says ratified. So it began to be a question, especially, I'm more process-oriented, I think. And so when people were bringing complaints, there were different rules being applied. So you couldn't know with certainty where these processes were coming out of and what was being used. And I thought right away there was something that couldn't solve the problems. It couldn't, because there was disagreement and there was no security as to what document prevailed. And I was thinking about other school systems where, you know, a school board, an education committee has on its site It's governing documents, how to make complaints, what days they're going to be meeting, and what you can bring forward. It's very organized, very out there for everybody. You don't have to search around. You don't have to wonder how to do something because it's set out there. It shows you how to do it. And so there was a larger and larger body of complaints and complainants and people who are not getting any satisfaction from this, and a lot of other problems. And I think a lot of it has to do, first of all the Kahnawake committees that I know are voluntary. I belong to 2 voluntary committees at the hospital. And I know it sometimes is difficult to all get together, but we do. We go once a month. And I know that this committee has an awful lot of meetings. And during the school year, they're really hit by a lot of time. It's very consuming.
For sure, right.
But the thing is, at the outset, I think the first thing that should have been done would have been to have organized the documents for the service of the clientele, the parents of the community. That would have helped an awful lot to avoid the problems, the complaints that came up afterwards.
But I think at the beginning, like if I just may, from what I understood, was that there was a lot of legalities in the situation. From what started was the firing of Donna Lahash, and then there were things that were not allowed to be talked about or discussed because of the legal situation that now both parties found themselves immersed in. And then from there, it went to disgruntled staff members who were either supportive or, of her and the situation. And then it seemed to snowball into other things, and then now mixed with personal and professional and so on and so forth. So, at this point, enter Mohawk Council all these months later. Now it's been 9 months almost, and you guys disband the KCSC, if you will. The powers of.
Yes.
Now, I think what Mohawk Council, from my understanding, is getting a lot of flack about, if one is that some of the 4 new councilors weren't all privileged to the information and hadn't been following the issue. And also that, you have other chiefs, one chief actually saying that it's not true, you didn't, you were bullied. It's not true, you didn't have the information. So that's one part. The other part being that, you had no right to do it as a council. It wasn't in your authority, so therefore it's not legal, because it's the will of the people. And how can 20 parents or so, if you will, claim that, make such claims and accusations without it being balanced or founded to be true? That's what you're basing all of your decisions on. You don't know if it's true or not. They're just complaints, and some of them weren't even apparently written. They were just told to you. So I want you to think about that for a second, because I know it's a lot, and I went on. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to continue on with this subject. Don't go away. You're watching Mohawk TV Channel 4, a very special edition of Our Town. Stay tuned.